Hello, everyone. Oh, we are not muted. Hold on one second. There we go. That should be better. Hello, Eve. Welcome. You guys actually remembered to set the info for our show today before hitting the button. In just a second here, I'm just messing with stuff to make sure that we are up, we are running. I'm sure people can hear us because I heard us talking to myself. We are going to want that one next. Just get everything up and running, and we are good to go. Hello, hello. We are here. We are talking.
Intro.
Oh, I'm sorry. I forgot the intro. Good evening, and welcome to
Monday Movie Madness with your hosts,
Mel and
Zim.
Gotta do the intro, guys.
That's right.
It's not rehearsed at all. Totally spur of the moment.
Every time.
Yeah, we are improv all the way, guys. Yeah, so I'm excited, and the rain stopped, so I don't feel like we need to rush quite so much.
We'll see.
We were gonna rush because the internet's been flickering a little bit for us today, but
There was actually a tornado north of us, so I didn't tell you at the time. But yeah, we had a tornado up by Huntsville today, so yeah, exciting stuff.
oh, up by Huntsville, that's nowhere near us.
Yeah. Well, it's 45 minutes away.
It's far enough that unless it's headed south, we're good.
Yeah, we were fine.
It's got 3 directions out of 4 that it can go and not bother me. It's fine. That's far enough away that I feel safe. Did you just say that for dramatic effect so that I would have like a panic attack on camera because you're like, tornado!
No.
Had a bad experience with tornadoes.
That's Texas near.
That's
Yep.
Texas near. There we go. Hey, Paul.
Hi, Paul.
Hey, we just got another RSVP for the birthday party.
Sweet.
Cool. My brain is yes. So, Eve knows my horrible experience with tornadoes. We just ripped that Band-Aid right off with tornadoes. I was out visiting Zim in Iowa one summer, and there were how many tornadoes on the ground in the area?
I don't remember.
It was more than 10, I want to say. It was like a dozen tornadoes on the ground in the area at once. And I just was like, there were sirens going off everywhere. We were in the car trying to get home from the movie theater. Like, it was...
Yeah.
So in case you're wondering, one of my triggers for panic attacks happens to be really bad storms.
But we didn't have that here. I mean, we had some wind, we had some lightning, and
I was busy working.
It got dark because I had to turn the lights on to keep working on what I was working on. But we were just worried that with the power flickering on and off that maybe we'd have to not get through the whole show or rush. But it seems to have cleared off, and we're
in good shape.
Yeah.
So we could socialize a little bit.
Yeah.
I totally, I heard it storming, and I turned my computer off because I was doing paperwork. And so I turned my computer off because I did not want to blow out my computer right before our show tonight. Plus, it's new, and it'd be nice if it lasted me more than a couple of months.
Good evening.
Hey, Degwin. But, yeah, so I heard it storming. I didn't know the wind was blowing that hard. We had that the other morning. It was raining really hard, and the wind was blowing like crazy, but there wasn't any thunder or anything.
Anyway.
Interesting thing about storms, we're talking Monster Hunter today, and if you watched it, you get that reference. Like my little segue there. Wasn't that clever? I'm good.
I don't like segues. I almost fell off one once.
I've never done a segue. They look like fun.
No, I didn't fall off. It was weird because
you have to shift to make it move,
use
right?
your weight. You lean to make it move forward and backwards, and that's it was weird.
I've never done one. I think they look like fun.
Yeah, well, they had them once when I was working at the Woodlands Mall at American Greetings. That one Christmas, they had a little corral where you could go and just try it. And so I was like, well, heck, I'm going to try it. And that was fun.
Kind of like water skiing, you have to trust the lean.
Yeah.
I'm not a very trusting person.
Although the way you read that really reminded me of another segue where if you walk without rhythm, you won't attract the worm.
Stop
so
it.
Let's go back to the movie.
That's not this movie.
But every time Diablos is coming through the sand, I think of Dune. It is a song, yes, but it's from Dune.
We're not doing Dune, nor will we ever do Dune on this show. Unless I have lost a bet severely. It's not gonna happen.
Ooh.
No.
I was thinking maybe we won't do it next year because we've already missed your birthday, but the week of our birthday we could pick a movie outside of the track.
No, because we're already doing something like that on the game show, which you've been invited to join in.
Fine.
Sorry.
Okay,
it disrupts the actor thing.
Monster Hunter was released in 2020.
Okay, you want to do the top and I'll do actors this time?
It was nominated for 1 award. It did not win.
It should have. This movie was on. What award was it?
It was the National Special Effects something. So it was for the computer effects.
Oh, but
it was nominated for.
The computer effects were really good.
I
wonder what they were up against.
I don't know, 4 other movies. It lost. It wasn't an Academy Award. It was the science of computer animation or something like that.
Interesting.
And yeah, it did lose, but it was nominated, and that would be it.
I'm not even going to read that out loud, Paul. I'm going to assume that Zim still needs his glasses. They haven't come in yet, and so he can't read that. Sorry.
Let him do a movie instead of games. Then you get to double up Mel.
No, because as it is, we only get 4 movies per actor anyway. 5 if you count the crossover.
Uh-huh.
And so if we eliminate one of those, then that's really cutting it short for the actor of the month.
Okay.
Which is why I don't want to do that.
Okay. Maybe we could do a whole month of the person's choice.
No. We'll discuss it next year.
Okay.
Because my birthday's come and gone, so that's not
Yeah,
fair.
I know. And that's why I said not this year. Cause
We'll see what 2022 brings. It will not bring Dune, though. You make me watch Dune, it might come with divorce papers. I hate that. Or you pick one movie in advance, then build the other 3 around it more normally. Talk about Monster Hunter.
All right, keep going.
Okay. It was directed by Paul W.S. Anderson. Mr. Anderson.
He's
isn't that her brother or something like that?
It's her husband.
Is it her husband?
Yes.
So it's she and her husband that makes these movies.
Yes.
My dad always says it's she and her brother, and
No,
then I thought it was she and her husband. And he's
Yeah.
like, no, it's because she and her brother are so into video
it's-
games.
It's her husband.
Shows what my dad knows. I should know by now not to listen. I should know. I know
Okay.
better.
So what is Mr. Anderson
He is most known
for?
for the Resident Evil series, the Mortal Kombat done in 1995, the Three Musketeers that was done in 2011, and Event Horizon.
Awesome movie. I love Event Horizon.
I have seen the Resident Evil series of those. Milla Jovovich we will cover later, but she played Artemis in this, the main character. You said this is a Japanese actor?
No, he's actually Island. I looked it up.
Okay.
But he does a lot of martial arts, so he does a lot of Japanese and...
I apologize
Hong Kong
in advance
films.
if I mispronounce his name then. I know how to pronounce Japanese syllables, but unfortunately I don't know. Okay, I'm just going to... Tony Jaa,
Sure.
I'm assuming, plays Hunter. He's most known for... Oh, dear God.
Ong Bak.
Ong Bak, The Protector, and The Furious 7. Furious, as in Fast and the Furious?
Yes.
How do we keep watching movies that are related to Fast and the Furious?
I don't know.
How did you do this?
I don't know.
I hate you. I'm going to refuse to watch those movies just because. No, I'll make it. I will watch the Fast and the Furious movies if you will watch the Step Up movies. That seems like a fair exchange.
I will totally take that deal.
I quite like Event Horizon 2 proposing a Sam Neill month now. Who's Sam Neill?
He's Alan Grant in Jurassic Park.
Oh.
He's one of the main characters in Event Horizon.
There are 9 of them. It's hard not to find a relation.
Well, technically...
That's a fair point.
Technically...
Hang on, all right.
There are
back,
10 of them because Hobbs & Shaw is presented by Fast
I take
and
back
Furious.
my exchange because I did not realize there were 10 of these movies.
And there's a sequel to Hobbs & Shaw coming and 2 more Fast and Furious movies.
I take it all back.
Yes, Fast 9 is out. I have seen it.
It's in theaters right now,
Yep,
isn't it? That's the one in theaters?
Yep.
I don't keep track either. I only know this because he went to see it. That was his movie that he went back to theaters. If you guys remember last time, he was all excited because he was going back to theaters. That is what he saw.
Yeah. It was stupid but harmless.
Anyway, so Ron Perlman plays the Admiral. He's best known for, according to IMDb, Hand of God, Hellboy, Beauty and the Beast.
The TV series.
TV series from 87 to 90.
Yeah.
Did he play the Beast by some chance? Really?
Yes. And
My
Sarah
mom watched the
Connor
show.
from Terminator. What's her name? Linda Hamilton played Beauty. And it was set in modern, 80s New York City in the subway.
Yeah, because he lived like in a cave or a subway or something.
He lived in the sewers and stuff. Yeah. It was a good show.
My mom watched that.
Yeah.
A Dead Cat stars as Ron Perlman's wig.
Yes.
And T.I. plays Lincoln. IMDb, oh my gosh, I can talk, I swear. IMDb most known for Ant-Man, Takers, and Sleepless. I know the name T.I. Why do I know T.I.?
He's a rapper. TJ used to listen to him.
That's why I know him. My stepson. Yeah, Beauty and the Beast series is something special.
Definitely.
I am curious if the something special is a sarcastic special or if he genuinely means that. Just because I know the way Paul talks, and it could have been like, that was something special, or it could be, that was something special.
Oh boy. All right.
Yes, so definitely sardonically, I figured. Could hear your voice saying that sentence in my head. So let's talk characters. Artemis should not actually be here because we'll discuss her character down here.
Yeah, sorry.
So Zim actually made our page today so that I could focus on our stuff because we had to get paperwork done for the kids' new school. Which, last time we were here, we were getting ready to go school hunting, and we picked the first school we went to. So it went really well. Found a new school. We've given them money, and
then the kids started gymnastics last week.
Oh my gosh, they loved it.
So awesome.
I did not anticipate enjoying watching them do that so much. Like, I thought I was gonna have a heart attack every time they did anything.
It was so fun.
They were just beaming. My daughter does not usually volunteer for things. She's usually, I wouldn't say shy, but she doesn't like put herself out there because she's a perfectionist, and so she's afraid of failure, which is very sad for a 6-year-old. We're working on it. We're trying to teach her like mistakes are a part of life. It's how you learn. They're opportunities, all that. But it's a process to teach her that. Mm-hmm. And so she, like, every time they were like, who wants to try this first? And she was like every single time. And at one point, her teacher is helping her learn to do a cartwheel. Mm-hmm. They're working on cartwheels. And she's like, this is my dream. Mm-hmm. Which is so into it.
And then she was on the bar, and she lifted herself up on the bar and did the full flip around it. And I was just like, yes!
Oh, yeah, all by herself. The teacher showed her how to do it once, and then she did it by herself.
And then,
it was fantastic. And
for his age level, our son got up on the high beam, which isn't very high. Like I said, it's for his age level. But then walked backwards got up on him, pulled himself up by himself, and then walked backwards
And then jumped
on
off.
the high beam, and then jumped off.
Which was his favorite part.
Like a froggy splash jump, if people
like,
remember
"Ah!"
wrestling.
Yeah. So that was a win, and we registered before we walked out the door. We were like, we will be back. Because they loved it. It was fantastic.
Tomorrow he gets to try martial arts.
He tries martial arts. She's trying horseback riding
Horseback
this week.
riding on Wednesday.
Yeah.
So,
Because that was our deal.
Big
Because
week.
we had a bunch of drama happen with the school that we had lined up for fall. And so because that happened, we were like, I tell you what, let's spend the summer, instead of amping up for that, let's spend the summer trying some new things. And so that's what we're doing.
Yeah.
And it's one down, and it was fantastic.
Yeah.
I told them they could each pick 2 activities, and so we'll see how that turns out.
Anyway.
Monster Hunter.
So, Monster Hunter. We're going to discuss Hunter.
So, yeah, I think Hunter's really the one to discuss. So,
Yeah.
I think overall, let me explain, like, structure of the movie, which I think everybody that I see in chat, I know that people can, like, not always show up here, but the folks I see online, I know have all watched this.
Uh-huh.
I'm really proud. First of all, I gotta hand it to Tegwin and Eve, which is my mom and his mom, actually watched Monster Hunter, which I think was really cool. I did not expect either of them to actually watch this movie. I am pumped that you guys did that. Congratulations. Well done. Because I was just like, no, there's no way they're gonna watch this movie. Like of all the movies, like they're not gonna watch this one, right? And then they did, and I was like, yes, all right. But so basically, I'd say the movie exists in like 3 sections. Is sort of how it felt to me. Where you had the section with Artemis and her military group at the beginning, and then you have the section with Artemis and Hunter in the middle, and then you have the section with like
Artemis Hunter and the rest of
the people in the New
team.
World.
Yeah.
In the third thing.
Yeah.
Or you can separate it by monster. You've got the spider monster battle
I was going to say,
first.
it felt very much structure of a video game, which makes sense. It's based off a video game, where you had the first big boss, and then the second big boss, and then the third big boss.
Yeah, I can't remember the name of the spider thing, because I haven't actually seen those in the movie, or in the game.
It was more like a scorpion, though, than a spider, because it had the tail and it had the claws at the front.
No, the tail was like a little point on its butt.
Oh.
And it did a little like hip thrust and.
Oh, they're not in world. There you go. That's why.
Oh, well, that's why I haven't seen them. So I can't remember what they're called. I know it starts with an N, but I can't remember what those were called. And then you had Diablos, Nursillus, I think is what they were saying, right?
Sure.
And then you had Diablos, and then you had Rathalos.
Yeah. And then there was the crazy one at the very end that you don't get to see the battle with.
I know they didn't name it.
Yeah.
It definitely was not a Rathalos because it had a different head.
Yeah.
Paul would know.
Well,
Paul knows. Let's just wait for him to tell us.
And you had the ones that looked like a dinosaur that were more like cows.
It's called Gore Magala.
Okay.
I won't ever remember that. But thank you for sharing, because now we can tell people. So at the end you have that. But that was sort of like leading into, hey, you'll see this next movie kind of thing. But overall, I think it was basically like 3 chunks.
Yeah.
So in the first chunk, let's do this not in order then. So in the first chunk, really, you've got the character that we referenced from that was Lincoln, who's one of the military people on her crew. I'll let you talk about him because
Well, okay, so apparently if you look at the actual coordinates that they mention at the beginning of the movie, they are on a reconnaissance outside of Kabul in Afghanistan.
You looked up the coordinates?
No, I looked up facts about the movie and it said that.
Oh, okay. I was like, wow. I didn't even hear them say the coordinates. My goodness.
So they were in Afghanistan doing, they were looking for another team. And
Bravo team.
there was a
Because they were Alpha team and they were looking for Bravo team.
Yeah. And a weird storm and weird glowy rocks. And we get transported to a new world.
The New World. It's literally called the New World.
Well, that would be the Americas, but okay. So he's on her military squad. I think they're Army, because they're singing a song about the Army the whole time. Oh, and she's a Ranger, so yeah, of course it's an Army, yeah. So she has a team of Army Rangers, and they are trying to figure out what's happening, where they're at,
what's going on.
Yeah, big thing moving in the sand. Sand burned so hot it turned to glass. Why is that? Weird stuff happening.
How annoying was I, having played a little bit of the game? I was like, I don't remember Diablo was casting fire. Like, I don't know why the glass, like the sand, like that's a Rathalos thing. Like, I don't know.
Well, obviously,
I was like, I don't remember that being
Diablo's.
Diablos. Yeah, but we didn't know about Rathalos at that point.
Okay.
I was like, I don't understand. I must have my monsters mixed up. I haven't played in a while. I was annoying. I was all excited when she had her weapons because they were the same weapons that I started in the game.
Oh, with the fire that glows?
Yeah, mine didn't have fire, but
Okay.
mine, that was like the weapon choice. Now I
Okay.
do the bugs. The bugs are more fun.
Okay. All
I'm
right.
getting off track.
Yes.
I highly recommend the game. The game is very fun.
The one you played.
The one I played, yes.
Okay. So...
It's difficult to talk about Lincoln very much, though, without spoiling things.
Spoiling things, yeah.
Because most of the stuff that happens with them would be spoilers.
Yeah.
So maybe we'll come back to Lincoln in the spoiler
Okay.
section.
Okay.
You guys, remind us. Talk about Lincoln, because we skipped over him.
Yeah.
So then in section 2 of the movie, you've got Hunter that comes into it. Is Hunter really his name? I don't know. But that's what she calls him.
Yeah.
Because he speaks an alien language. And I'm just going to pause for a second and talk about how that was literally my favorite part of the entire movie. Was the fact that they don't speak the same language, so they have to figure out how to communicate. And I love to tell the story about, I spent 2 weeks in Japan in high school in an exchange program. And my host mother did not speak any English, and I did not speak any useful Japanese. I could count to 10 and say hello and how are you. And aside from that, I was a less than mediocre student in my Japanese class. But she knew I loved sushi, and so she was going to teach me how to make it. And so we spent an afternoon in the kitchen with her teaching me how to make sushi, with neither of us being able to communicate verbally, essentially. I mean, we were both speaking our languages, but we didn't understand what the other person was saying. And so it was all like finding other ways to communicate.
Huh.
And I loved the fact that he's speaking another language the whole time. And so we understand her, but we don't understand him. And so you're kind of seeing that process of the two of them trying to communicate and figure out like what the other one needs to do. And that's why he ends up being called Hunter, is because she's explaining that she's a ranger and is doing like mimicking a gun essentially. And so he does a little bow and arrow pantomime, and she's like, oh, Hunter. And so that's why his name is Hunter. It's not actually his name, or maybe it is, I don't know, but yeah, I thought that was probably one of the coolest things in the movie for me. Bait.
And
yeah, go
chocolate.
ahead. Bait. Chocolate. Everything was chocolate. Like if it was good, it was chocolate.
Yeah.
But that's how it works, though. Like
Yeah.
you use the word, and then like they can pick up the word, but they might attribute it to something different. For example, like he took chocolate to mean good,
Yeah.
tasty.
Or Clayton. I mean, same kind of thing.
It is similar, yeah.
Yeah.
Go Tarzan with it.
Yeah.
Always got to go Disney with this one. But the second section of the movie is a lot of that, like them trying to communicate, trying to create a plan. And you get some
Setting up a
backstory with Hunter without any language, which was kind of cool. But yeah, they set some traps. They do some cool stuff. It's pretty good. I think the second section of the movie was probably my favorite.
Mine too.
Because in the third section, then you've got the dead cat wig back.
Yeah.
And
Well, and the live cat for that.
and the life cat.
Yeah.
Yeah, you were like, what is that? I was like, it's a pelican. You were not expecting that, right? Like the cat thing? That was funny. The Meowscular Chef. That's what I was telling him. I said in the game that Paul and I play together, which is Monster Hunter World, and he looks just like him too. Yeah, that's literally what he does when he cooks food at the canteen. He does, like, that is the animation. He puts the little leaf on top of the
That's
meat.
awesome. I liked the game references in this. I mean, I don't know the game, but
he had help with the reference.
Well, but you could figure out, oh, this is obviously from the game in a lot of it. Because Resident Evil, while it was based on the games, it took a lot of liberties. Like, the creatures were obviously from the games, but plots and storylines had nothing to do with the games.
Yeah, this too.
Okay. Okay.
So the game, how do I explain? Is it the character name in the movie too? I didn't know that. Because they don't really cover character names in the movie. Like, I did not know that TA's character was named Lincoln, because I think they said it like once. So they don't really spend a lot of time using the names in this movie. So I was excited to see what the character names were, because I didn't know. At no point did I ever hear them call Ron Perlman the Admiral. I never heard them say that.
Yeah, I didn't either. That was his name.
Not even once, but he's got a name.
You don't have cats in your world.
That's a good line. Yep. Yeah, that was funny. Yes, but they don't cook. Although I liked when he'd been drinking out of his cup and there was a little hairball in it.
Yeah. Lots of good comedy in this movie.
I should just put the spoiler
just
thing
put the
up.
spoiler
Like
yeah.
We're clearly just gonna talk and spoil everything anyway. So I'm sorry if you haven't seen it. We're gonna go ahead and put the spoiler tag up though. Maybe if I can find it.
Spoilers.
Remember to hit transition, because I always forget that little. I forget that step, and so I'll see it on my end, but you won't see it on your end. Ron Perlman's hair looks as it does because there's the Admiral in Monster Hunter World as well, and he has that hair more or less.
Okay.
But it's okay. But like they manage. I was explaining to Zim that all of the characters in the New World sort of resembled characters from, and they didn't say any names, so I was like, I don't know if they are or not, but they resemble characters from Monster Hunter World. And none of them had crazy looking wigs. Like, you had the redheaded guy and the chick that's running around with him. You meet them on the ship right at the beginning of Monster Hunter World. You've got the muscular chef who looks exactly like the cat in Monster Hunter World. You've got Handler. Well, I'm surprised they didn't kill, because a lot of people apparently find Handler really annoying, and so that would have been like a fan service thing. But she survived. But she looks exactly like Handler in the game.
Okay.
And Hunter looks like
Hunter?
No, so Hunter looks like I can't remember his name, but there's a guy that's like helping you at the beginning of Monster Hunter World. Paul would know the guy's name. But his hair is done like him.
Okay.
And so, like, they were able to do it in reasonable ways with every other character. I feel like they could have done better with Ron Perlman. But I also feel like they went, he did Hellboy. Like, he'll let us do anything, too.
Yeah.
Huge Hellboy fan, by the way. I love Hellboy.
You may be thinking of Commander. The Admiral really does look mostly like that.
I don't know if I've seen the Admiral. Yeah.
All right. Well.
So I don't know.
Okay.
I will report in when I get to that part of the game. But I am busy, so who knows when I'm going to get there.
Yeah.
I'm currently hooked on another game. Also, Hunter looks a lot like Field Team Leader. That's the guy. Thank you. Yeah, the one that you're always running around with at the beginning of the game, who's always like, come this way. You can find this monster over here. Over here, you'll see an Anjanath.
Well, that makes sense, because it's kind of what his job was in the movie. So it just seems like they really took a lot from the movie, or from the game for this movie, a lot more than they did, at least in the first Resident Evil.
There is not that deep of a plot in the game.
Sure.
There's
you're hunting animals.
Like the game has a plot. It has just enough story to get you to the next fight. And Paul's probably gonna be like, oh, because he loves these games. So I'm so sorry, Paul, but I mean, it's the Monster Hunter. The game is not about story so much as it is about fighting the monsters. Yeah. There we go. I'm glad you agree, because I was worried I was going to, like, offend you because I know you love these games. But they're more about, like, the mechanics and, like, how you... Yeah. This monster is a problem. Figure out why it's a problem, then beat it up. Yeah, that's pretty much the plot.
But that's what each... If you broke down the movie into your 3 sections, that's what each of the 3 sections was.
Yeah, if you broke it down to, like, the most minimal translation of the plot for each section, then that's what it would be.
Yeah.
Act 2 of the movie is basically Monster Hunter. Yeah, where you're killing a monster and you're using parts, you create the weapons, you create the armor. Have too much story. Ugh, now I'm hot. It was cold and now I'm hot and I just... Oh. I was under a blanket, guys. Sorry.
All right. So...
And in terms of, I mean, that's the challenge, I think, with this movie is, as much as I enjoy the movie, because if I could describe this movie in one word, I would describe it as fun. This movie's really fun.
I thought so, too.
But discussing characterizations of these characters, there's just not a whole lot to say.
Yeah, not much.
The Admiral was ridiculous.
Yeah.
In every aspect of the word.
Well, of course,
like,
it's Ron Perlman.
The first time you see him, he's holding onto the sail. I'm sorry, sail was this hand. He's holding onto the sail, and he's holding onto the wheel of the sand ship. And, like, holding them both in a storm to keep them going while the Diablos is chasing them down. And I'm like, you would literally get ripped in half if you could manage to hold on to both those things, which you wouldn't. Even, like, I can suspend my disbelief so far, but, like, it goes against the other physics that are existing in that exact moment.
Everything Ron Perlman is in, he's ridiculous.
Don't diss my Hellboy.
I love Hellboy too, but is he not ridiculous?
No! Hellboy is such a deep character.
Okay.
Have you seen more than the first movie?
I've seen 1 and 2 and the first animated movie that he did the voices of. Hellboy is both great and ridiculous.
So Hellboy does not take itself too seriously, which is nice. Yeah, it has a good sense of humor. But also, Hellboy, the character, is like, I love him. He's
Alien
so sweet, and I
4,
want him. He's so squishable.
City of Lost Children.
That's what you could get me for Christmas. You can get me a Funko Pop of Hellboy.
Oh, okay.
There you go. That'd be a good one.
Okay.
I like Hellboy.
Okay.
But then, of course, you have those moments where he's, like, filing down his horns. He doesn't shave. He files his horns. But we're talking about Monster Hunter.
Yes.
I can focus.
I have to say, some spoilers up, I love the fact that this film was co-produced by Toho Studios.
Because it feels like a kaiju.
Well, it feels like a kaiju, but that officially makes it part of the Godzilla family.
I don't know if that's what that means. It's just it's
any
by the
monster
same studio.
movie made by Toho, Toho considers part of the universe.
I'm not going to speak to that.
I guarantee you, the next Toho produced Godzilla movie, they're gonna have Diablos fighting Godzilla or something. Just because it's Toho.
I'll take that bet. But not for Dune. I'm not betting Dune. No. Because you're like, I guarantee. Like, that's a pretty strong statement.
Use his back scales.
Milla Jovovich beat up Godzilla and used
King Kong already did that.
Isn't that what King Kong did? Milla Jovovich was secretly playing the part of King Kong, uncredited. No, please don't, no, please don't sue us. I feel like we've discussed plot. Why do you always hit the microphone with your...
Just want to check and make sure that it's okay. All right, so moving on.
I feel like we've discussed plot development pretty thoroughly, actually.
I think the pacing's done really well, though.
Pacing is done really well.
Because it keeps you engaged.
Yeah, and there's always things happening, and I think that's what makes it so fun, though, is it's an action movie.
Yeah.
with monsters.
Yeah.
So it's got the pacing of an action movie. Overall opinion, feel, and rating. Yeah, this is worth a view, in my opinion. It's fun, but know what you're getting into when you go into it. Which I feel like if you know the title is Monster Hunter, you pretty much know what you're getting into just from that.
Well, and so there's historically you looking
King Kong as Hunter.
Historically, movies based off of video games are not good. However, within 2020, like within the last 2 years, there have been 3 that I think have been pretty darn decent. So, yeah.
So this one. And...
This one, Detective Pikachu and Sonic.
Oh, yeah. Sonic was really good.
Yeah, and I'm not a Pokemon fan by any means, but Detective Pikachu was really good.
I caught the end of that.
Yeah.
Sonic's one of those that my kid was insisting, having no idea who Sonic is, insisted on going, and her best friend wanted to go too, so the moms took them to see it in theaters. And, like, the kids were into it, but, like, me and the other mom were... Like, we were like, this is like nostalgia on crack. Plus a really good family movie.
Yeah.
Like, I was like, how did they make a kick-ass Sonic movie? Like, why am I crying right now?
But traditionally...
I totally cried in the theater at Sonic.
Resident Evil has a special place in our hearts, but they're kind of made fun of by a lot of people.
Are they really?
Yeah.
Who are you people? You're watching a movie named Resident Evil based off a video game about zombies. Know what you're getting into when you watch the movie.
But Super Mario Brothers, Double Dragon, I know there's more. Wing Commander. Oh, God. It was horrible.
I haven't seen it.
Oh. Freddie Prinze Jr. and Matthew Lillard as the main characters.
You say Matthew Lillard and I cringe. I'm not a fan.
Yeah. Like, people literally went to the theater to see Wing Commander because that was the movie chosen to premiere the Phantom Menace trailer. And so they went and paid the money to get in to see the trailer and then left because the movie was so bad.
I remember you telling me that. Okay, so, but I would say so bad, so bad. He's agreeing with you.
Yes.
I would say this is worth the watch though. But again, know what you're getting into. This is a movie about people hunting monsters and monsters hunting people. So, like, just know what it is when you turn it on and sit back and enjoy the ride. Mm-hmm. It's fun. It's a fun ride. Especially since the game got Mark Hamill and Tom Wilson to play those roles.
Exactly.
And they did Freddie Prinze Jr. and Matthew Lillard.
Yes.
I'm trying to imagine Matthew Lillard in the cockpit.
Yeah.
Of a spaceship.
Well, and at one point, a ship crashes into... One of the little fighters crashes into the big ship. And they're like, oh, we gotta get it off there before we can jump. And so this bulldozer thing goes out onto the hull of the big ship and pushes the little fighter off. And the fighter goes...
In space?
In space.
Were they, like, in close orbit around a planet?
No. That was the moment I turned it off.
Did they pass first grade science? My 6-year-old knows there's no gravity in space.
Yep. Anyway, yeah, it was bad.
Although to be fair, I don't feel like that's a fair comparison though, because she's a Whovian. Mm-hmm. My little 6-year-old Whovian.
Yeah.
I am raising my child properly.
Oh, and she likes Star Wars and Batman and.
She's pretty into Doctor Who though. Yeah. And my son wants to watch it, and I keep telling him he has to wait till he's 5. He's like, when will I be 5? And I'm like, well, you're turning 4 this weekend. In another year.
Yeah.
He's like, how long's the year? So, like, next week? No. Will I be 5 tomorrow? No. No. 365 tomorrows.
All right.
Okay, so let's talk. Milla Jovovich plays...
Or is this where we do the rating, or do we do that later?
No, we do that when we get into spoilers, even though we're already in spoilers. It's after break.
Okay, cool.
After break.
All right, so...
Oh my god, it's already like 20 to 9. We need a boogie on this.
Yeah.
So, Milla Jovovich, IMDb, most known for Fifth Element, Resident Evil, Fourth Kind. My recommendations are The Fifth Element, all of the Resident Evil movies. They are all wonderful. They are fun. Again, know what you're getting into when you watch them, but they're just really fun movies. And I would actually add Monster Hunter to my list. I enjoyed this movie. I thought it was fun. We were laughing. We were cheering. It was fun having played the games. Like, I think my experience watching was different than yours, although I was worried I was talking too much because I was like, oh, that thing that she just put on hers, you can use it to like get on top of the monster and like stab him in the head.
And then of course,
and then she did it, and I was like, yes! I was like screaming at the TV. I was very excited.
So my recommendations are The Fifth Element, Dazed and Confused, The Fourth Kind, the Resident Evil Apocalypse. I like them all, but that's my favorite one. And then I would also add Monster Hunter.
It was fun.
Yeah.
It was a really fun movie. We liked this one.
It. Yep.
And I'm trying to decide if I liked this movie because it's I know I saw it. It's an enjoyable movie. But I like this movie because I went into it expecting to not like this movie at all. And then it like exceeded my 0 expectations. See, Paul says, I feel like this movie did fan service well. They incorporated a lot of game things without doing it in a way that like leaves out those who don't play the game. Yeah, so I haven't played a whole lot of the game, but like I enjoyed the game moments, but he also enjoyed this not having played the game.
Yeah. Well, and I thought it was a fun dynamic to watch it that way with you because we got to like geek out over different things and combine our geekiness into it just took it to a new level, I think.
Yeah, we had fun.
Yeah.
I think it's enjoyable either way.
Okay.
My mother-in-law and my mother might disagree.
I don't know. I did not get a review from my mom. The only person I got a real review from was Paul. So,
well, my mom questioned some of the plot devices, I guess is what I would call it. She questioned the moment, and I didn't feel the same way about it. I kind of interpreted it more the way you did.
Yeah.
But the moment when Hunter shows up and attacks Artemis after having just tried to warn them about Diablos and like all of that. So she was like, that seems very random. And we were like, but they did shoot at him. So
well, and she's got a knife.
He's
trying to disarm her so that he feels safe, but yet wants to make that contact.
But again, they can't communicate with words, and so she takes it as an attack and she hits him.
Yeah.
So I take it as a miscommunication.
Yeah.
You've got two people that can't communicate with words, and so they're both perceiving what the other's doing as aggressive.
Yeah.
And responding.
That's the way I took it.
So Artemis is a beast.
Oh, I liked it, though. I probably wouldn't have ever watched it.
Hey, you know what? That's what this show is for.
Exactly.
Because that's for me, too. I watch stuff that... Like, I honestly, after Paul told me about this movie, I don't know that I ever would have watched it.
Yeah,
I didn't really care to begin with, and then he was like... Oh, like it's okay, but I wouldn't spend money on it, or I wouldn't spend a lot of money on it. And I was
and when we decided we were going to do Milla, we discussed possibly doing this, but at that time we had to pay for it, and so we were like, no. Paul said we're not. Yeah, but now that it was on Stars, since we expanded her into 2 months, we took the opportunity to put it back on the schedule, and I'm glad we did.
Yeah, I am too. Really enjoyed it.
So. So you were saying that Artemis is a beast.
Yeah. Well, I know you didn't enjoy it, but...
Not that, yeah.
Yeah. The ending frustrated. Yeah.
Yeah. So.
I know. I didn't want to, like, rehash our whole conversation because it was like, I want to say we talked for several minutes about it.
So first of all, she is obviously named Artemis, is the Greek goddess of the hunt. So she is also a hunter, which is kind of cool.
It's a cleverly named character.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is.
I like characters that are named like that, like meaningful names.
Yeah.
It's fun.
I would also say that watching this really took me back to our conversation on Fifth Element when we discussed how at that time she was not trained in martial arts. And she definitely is now. And it was like, wow, like her abilities physically are pretty awesome.
Yeah. The fight scenes were very well done. They're really well choreographed as well. And I don't know who did the choreography for the fight scenes in this movie, but they did a really fantastic job. I like the way they utilize the scenes around them. So it's not just two people fighting, but they tend to be interacting with their environment as well in the fight scene. And those are always much better choreographed scenes to me. Like a lot of times you'll have a fight scene and you just have this person that's fighting this person, they're just like wailing on each other, and like that's all well and good and everything, but like it makes it brings you into the story more and into the world more when they're interacting with their environment throughout a fight. And that really is how it works. I mean, it's how most part of the game works too, to a certain extent, is you're setting traps for monsters and things like that. And so you have that aspect of it when they're fighting with the monsters, but even when the two of them fight, I seem to recall there was a lot of interaction with, like, beyond just smashing things, like throwing things at each other or to knock the other person off balance and things like that. It's a well choreographed fight. We skipped over, I'm sorry, because we do have this spoiler thing up, I want to say we skipped over Lincoln earlier, and the reason we skipped is like the most important thing his character does is die.
Yeah.
In a really gross way. Basically, he has a bunch of spider eggs on his ribs, and that's why I was like, the only thing I really remember about that character is that he had like the spider eggs that all hatched, and then he had like all the little spider things all over him. And then he got eaten by the big spider.
When she gets stung the first time and falls, Artemis does, he's the one who kind of takes over the squad.
Oh, okay.
First, he's trying to save her, and when the bugs are coming,
you have to go. He's the one that's like, I'm sorry.
I'm sorry, and he leaves. And he survives the longest of her team, and
which isn't long.
No, when they find him, he's got spider eggs in his chest and ribs, and they start to crawl out of him. And
it's gross.
Yeah.
Well, as soon as she's free, she's like.
Yeah.
Like checking every inch of her. And I was like, yep, it's exactly what I'd be doing.
I thought it was very reminiscent of a scene from The Mist that was a lot like that.
I haven't seen The Mist.
Yeah.
So I wanted to go back and say, like, that is why we skipped him, was all the stuff that was relevant for his character or spoilers. So, all right, so back to Milla Jovovich. Spicy. We talked last time, because the last movie we discussed was The Duchess. And so we had talked about the way she, even though the characters that she tends to play tend to be like extreme versions of various types of characters, various archetypes. But she does a lot of really subtle things. And one of the things that we both talked about last time was the way her voice is affected by her characters. And so with Lilu, you had a lot of that like innocence that's being done kind of through a lot of questions, and then like she's rattling off this like alien language, like it's fluent to her, and then with the Duchess, the one in Paradise Hills that we talked about last time, her voice, we talked about the fact that her voice was very like high and sweet and very pleasant, and
join us, won't you?
Yeah, let's have some tea. Tell me about your father, and things like that. And whereas in this one, again, like full transformation, her voice is much deeper, a lot more serious. It lost the breathiness. So the Duchess had a little bit of a raspiness and breathiness to her voice, whereas this was a lot more like solid and firm and robust and
militant.
very appropriate for a ranger.
Yeah.
And it's one of the things I really enjoy with her is the way that she's able to kind of. Does she do voice acting too? Like, I have to wonder, because she does. Her voice changes so much.
Not that
with
I know
the various
of, but
characters.
I wouldn't be surprised if she hasn't done some.
She's
at some
got to have
point.
done some, yeah. Beyond just like the video game for Fifth Element and stuff like that.
She's not in the video games.
You played the Fifth Element video games?
Oh. Fifth Element. I thought you said Resident Evil.
No.
Fifth Element. There was a game back on the first PlayStation, and I did play it, but I don't remember it. It wasn't very good.
I think they all do the voiceovers for the characters for the movies they're in, but it's one of the things I really enjoy about her though as an actress, and of course she's very capable with all the physical stuff too, which is insane to me. The fight scenes that she does in these movies just blow my mind. Mm-hmm. I mean, I'm taking Resident Evil into account as well. So on this show, we've only, in terms of action movies, I think we've only really done Fifth Element and then this one. Because that was kind of what I said when we did Milla Jovovich. I was like, I don't want to just do action movies because she does other stuff too.
Sure.
But she does handle the action really well.
Godzilla versus Kong.
She's not in Godzilla versus Kong.
No, you said action movies.
With her.
For the show. Okay, gotcha.
With Milla Jovovich.
Okay, yeah. We've only done those two because...
We've only done the two.
Yeah. Because she mostly does action movies.
She actually doesn't. If you actually look at... I mean, I haven't heard of a lot of the movies, but she's done...
most of her mainstream
the ones that I know of,
movies.
are almost all action movies, which is why
or
I said...
Or drama with lots of action.
Yeah, which
is... like, she played Joan of Arc. There's a lot of fighting in that.
Is there?
Yeah.
But that was why I said, if we're going to do Milla Jovovich, what I want to do is a lot of movies that are not action movies.
Yeah.
Because I'd like to see the other stuff. Because all I've seen really before this was Fifth Element and all the Resident Evil movies. And I think that's all I'd seen with her. Oh, and Zoolander. Was all I'd seen with her in it. So, this one was more action-y.
I'm excited for next week to see what you think.
I am too. And that's one of those movies that, like Eve said, I don't know that I'd watch it if we weren't doing it on this show. Because it's not one that, like, plot-wise is interesting me at all. But...
Do you know what it's about?
I know what IMDb said about it, but I read it like 3 weeks ago, so I don't remember now. Don't test me on it, but I remember the title.
I think it's 1976. The seniors are hazing the new incoming freshmen, and it's the last day of school. And like that night, and everybody's like out, like, and people are discovering who they are. It's teenage drama.
That's not really the kind of movies. It's the kind of TV shows I watch, as long as there's supernatural in the mix.
No supernatural.
But it's not really the movies that I watch.
It does have a young Matthew McConaughey going, all right.
I know, you've told me so many times. You guys have heard that on the show at least 3 times. Not tonight, but over the last few weeks.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But I live with him, so I've heard it about 20 times a day for the last month and a half.
But it's got, I mean, anybody who was anybody at that point who was a teenager or young adult is in it. Like, even Ben Affleck's in it.
It's just not the type of movie I typically watch, which was the point I was trying to make.
Yeah.
It was kind of the point of the show, is that we pick an actor and we watch things that we wouldn't necessarily watch.
Right.
Like, I never would have watched No Good Deed, which you guys got spared. You're welcome. It wasn't good. But we watched it. We made it through.
Yeah.
And I don't know that that is a movie that I definitely would have turned off. I wouldn't have even finished it. I would have shut it off.
Yeah. I didn't think it was that. I mean, it wasn't that horrible Straw Dogs movie we tried to do.
No, they could at least act. It's just the story was not good. It's very badly written. Yeah, so do you have anything to say in terms of comparing the various characters? I talked about the way her voice is affected by the characters.
No, I think that you nailed it. I'm trying to think if there was anything else. Oh, I liked that she was... So we've kind of gone villain, hero in our watching of her films. And again, she is very versatile that way, where she can play both sides really well.
Also, I'm convinced that Milla Jovovich does not age.
Yeah.
She must be a sorceress.
Sh-
I don't understand it because she doesn't.
She started out as a model, so.
She's gorgeous and like still. I mean, even in this movie, if you showed me this movie and Fifth Element, I would not think that as much time, special effects aside, I would not think that as much time had passed between those movies as has actually passed between those movies.
Yeah.
I'd say 10 years or less, and it's twice
Double that.
Yeah. I probably would have guessed more like less than 10, but it is. It's.
This is a Keanu Reeves situation.
Yes, Keanu Reeves also never ages.
Yeah, he does. He looks old as hell right now.
Really?
Yeah. Have you seen him lately?
Oh yeah, I was just at his house for tea the other day. Like.
Well, he's been in a lot of movies lately. I don't know why.
I don't watch that many movies. I watch a movie once a week with you and Hunger Games.
But I know I showed you the trailer of Bill and Ted. He looked really old in that.
Maybe? I don't know.
No, his
90% of his current
his
age
eyes are
is
really
just he has
cracky.
a beard and shaggy hair.
He's got wrinkles and stuff around his eyes.
You know what? Wrinkles are gorgeous.
So, I'm not saying they're not. I'm saying he looks older. That's all I'm saying.
I'm starting to wrinkle. You better like it. Especially around the eyes.
If you want, I'll say the thing how I feel about Keanu Reeves. It'll just...
Don't go there.
Okay.
Do not go there.
All right.
You'll make enemies.
Okay.
He does not like Keanu Reeves, guys. He's wrong.
There are Keanu Reeves movies I do like. He plays one character and not very well at it.
Nope. So we're going to go to break. We're going to take 5. Get up, stretch your legs, refresh your drinks. I hope you're drinking something more exciting than I am. I'm drinking
Did you set
water.
up the film for next week?
Oh, no, I didn't. That's what I forgot. I thought it went way too fast.
Okay.
I would tell you to watch the preview for the next movie, but I didn't change it.
You could always Google it yourself or go to YouTube and just look up Dazed and Confused trailer. That'll be the movie we watch next week.
Sorry. I really felt like setting up for tonight went faster than normal, and I was like, I must be getting the hang of it. No, forgot something. But I got the pictures changed. So
Yes, awesome.
That I did 10 minutes before last time because I forgot. And I was like, oh crap, this all still says Zoolander. Or it was Fifth Element. It all said Fifth Element still. And I was like, that's not what we're doing. All right, we're going to take 5. We'll see you guys back here in 5 minutes. Stretch your legs, and we will see you soon.
Nanu, nanu.
Nanu, nanu. Hey, we are back, but I will not transition over until Zim puts his hand down. So I need to hold onto your hands?
No,
Keep
we're
you
good.
From doing it?
We're fine.
You promise?
We're fine.
You swear?
Nanu.
Hello. He was being a dork, and I was like, I'm not moving over until you talk. All right. I think we are visible again. It says spoilers already, so we should be good. Hello.
All right.
Welcome back.
Welcome back.
I hope you enjoyed your 5-minute break. I hope you stretched your legs. I didn't. I just sat here. I did take my medicine, though.
Good for you. Way to self-care.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
Always self-care.
Always self-care.
Yeah.
Self-care. I can't even say it. Self-share is what I'm trying to say, and it's a different thing entirely.
Don't always self-share.
So, as always, let's start with family rating. This movie was rated PG-13.
Wrong. I disagree completely. I think that the violence, the bodies being ripped in half and such, blood spray, I would have given it a mild R.
I did not notice any blood spray, and none of the bodies were actually ripped in half. You see 2 people get impaled.
Uh-huh.
And then, like, they were bitten in half, but you never actually, like, saw the body. I'm just telling you, like, the things that would make it different is because, like, you're not, okay, so we do this so that any parents watching know what to expect. You're not actually seeing a body get ripped in half. You're not seeing 2 pieces of one body. You are seeing a spider take a bite of a body, and, like, the butt and legs are still hanging out of its mouth. You don't ever even see, like, the second half of the body. They don't drop it.
And like, Diablos eats people.
Yeah, the monsters do eat people.
So, I don't know. I think the violence is a little much for a PG-13. I would have, like I said, a mild R.
So, it's one of those moments. Oh my gosh, why does my computer keep making noise? I'm sorry if you guys can hear that. Hopefully you can't, because this is a cardioid mic, and so it shouldn't be picking that up, but just in case, I apologize. But I think this is one of those cases where when it's monsters and the blood isn't red for some reason, it doesn't seem to count.
The human's blood.
There wasn't any blood spray, though.
I remember spray.
No. There was, like, monster spray, but there was no, like, spurts of red blood happening. Even after she's been stabbed by the butt of a spider, you have, like, a red splotch. Like, the most graphic thing that happens to a human is the spider thing.
And the charred bodies at the beginning.
You do, yeah. You see some charred, like, skeletons by some wreckage. But mostly, like, you see some people on fire. Some of us have issues with the whole burning alive concept.
Spiders coming out of
That's
flesh.
what I said was the grossest thing was the spiders coming out. Yeah.
So I still think a mild R.
It is really violent. If it's a PG-13, it's the upper end of PG-13. But there's not a lot of language. There's no F-bombs at all that I noticed. I think they said shit once.
Yeah.
But it's very violent. Most of the graphicness is the monsters. So, like, they do use bits of monster to do things. So, like, you're seeing them pull guts out of a spider in order to rig up an arrow. And you see her pulling, like, a scale off of Diablos after he's been defeated. And that's she's basically skinning him, and so you've got all, like, the stringy stuff. But also the monsters, the blood is not red, so if that does make a difference, I don't think it should make a difference, but for some reason it does in the ratings. So if you feel like it makes a difference, then there you go.
But as always, preview it first.
I was trying to remember. I was like, how do we actually say this? Bones all over the floor. Oh yeah. So when they're in the spider area, there's lots of evidence of previous meals.
Yes.
But they're well picked bones. I don't think Bones
Well,
raised the rating as much
I
as
wouldn't
you
give
think it does.
Goonies a rated R, and it's full of bones. So
Yeah. Well, and even so, I just watched Finding Ohana, and that one you've got like through the whole movie you're finding skeletons and stuff, and that was rated PG.
Okay. Did you watch that with her?
Mm-hmm.
Did she like it?
Mm-hmm. Did it scare her sometimes? Mm-hmm.
Okay.
It did, but she stuck with it.
I want her to watch Goonies.
I was like, she was freaking out at one point. She's like, Mom, I'm really scared. I was like, baby, this movie's rated PG. Nothing's going to happen to the kids. They're fine. If something bad was going to happen to these kids, this would be PG-13 or higher. Yeah. So, and then she was like, oh, okay. And she was fine. But yeah, it was intense in some spots. But yeah, please preview this movie before you let your children watch it.
Yep.
Because I don't know that it warrants an R, but I feel like it warrants like a PG-16.
There's no such rating.
I know, like I feel like it's in between, and so you're leaning on the side of R, and I'm leaning on the side of PG-13.
Well, R is 17, so
I know, but I don't think you need to be 17 to see this, though.
Okay.
But I think like 15-ish. Okay. Like not 13 seems low for me, but there is nothing in the middle there. So every kid is different.
And
so
R is not.
It
just means restricted. You need to have parent.
PG literally means parental guidance.
Right, but it's not like it's NC-17 where it literally means no one under the age of 17 will be allowed in the movie, period. R, you can still go to in a movie theater at the age of 4 if you have your parent with you.
Yes, you can, but I disagree with that parenting.
I do too. It's also really annoying when you're trying to watch Scream
and
kids are screaming.
Your 3-year-old should not be watching Rocky Horror Picture Show.
No.
All I have to say about that.
Or Child's Play.
Really? That too?
Yep. I bet he's still, to this day, scared of Chucky.
I've never seen those movies, and I'm scared of Chucky.
Oh, Chucky's hilarious.
Chucky is freaky looking.
He's hilarious. All right.
So specific. We've hit plot point. We were doing that already.
Well, moments we liked and did not like.
Oh, he is. That's what your mom says. I don't doubt it.
Yeah.
I'm still scared of Gremlins.
Yeah, and you were probably about the same age.
I was the same age when I saw Gremlins. Yeah. Fun fact. So I also watch. We're both. I'm gonna put you on the spot here. Both fans of Vampire Diaries.
Yeah.
So I've stuck with the series. So it's Vampire Diaries and then originals, and now it's Legacies. And they literally had a Gremlins episode.
Really?
Yeah. Luckily, it did not it did look like a little pink mogwai to begin with.
Okay.
But its Gremlin version did not look anything like the Gremlins in the movie.
Of course,
I was so glad. Because as soon as they were like, "Oh my gosh, it's a gremlin," I was like, "Shit!" I literally at that point, it didn't look like that either. But I the second they said it was gremlins, I reached and grabbed the remote and I was ready to shut it off at any moment. And I held it the whole episode, like it was my security blanket. Just like, all right, I'm gonna shut it off. But yeah, no, I have Gremlin PTSD. Not to make light of anybody that actually has PTSD. I am somewhat traumatized by that movie, though. I still have nightmares. Tegwin's scared of Chucky, even though she's never seen it.
But he's funny. He is so funny.
No, I think the bride of Chucky, she's funny looking. Chucky is scary looking.
I'm not talking about the way he looks. His character, he's really funny.
Oh, is he?
Yeah.
Doesn't he kill people?
Well, yes, but
hilarious.
He's got a lot of one-liners, and towards the last half of the series, he becomes a comedic character, kind of like Freddy Krueger did.
I had nightmares about Freddy Krueger because a kid wore a Freddy Krueger costume to the school Halloween thing one year.
Okay. Yeah, I'm not saying he doesn't look scary, but he becomes a comic a comedian character, basically from. You start to see it in 3, but 4, 5, and 6, he's all comedy.
I'm just going to keep my money because
So.
I am not buying it.
I already own them. Ha.
It's you. I'm not buying the sales pitch.
Oh, okay. I wasn't trying to get you to watch them.
Yeah, I won't. It'll never happen.
But I would like you to see is
movies.
the original Halloween. And The Shining.
Okay, so The Shining I'm interested in seeing. During the day with the lights on.
The original Halloween, it's not all the gore. It's more suspense. Like, there is murder going on.
Isn't that the one that you said, like, they cheated and it ended up being his mom?
No, that's Friday the 13th.
Oh. I thought Friday the 13th was Freddy Krueger.
No, that's Nightmare on Elm Street.
Oh.
Friday,
See, I don't watch horror movies, and so I don't know anything
Friday
about
the 13th is Jason, the guy with the hockey mask.
That's not Halloween? I thought he was the Halloween guy.
Halloween is the guy in the William Shatner mask. Yeah.
Oh, it has, like, the sunken in eyes and stuff?
Yes, yeah.
And, like, the little, like, patch of hair?
Yeah. Yeah, it's a white mask.
That's freaky looking. I don't want to watch that.
It was a William Shatner mask, and they cut the whole eye holes whiter, and then painted it white.
I don't want... That's scary looking. I don't want to watch that.
Oh, okay. It's really good.
I thought it was the hockey mask. I was like, who the hell cares about a freaking hockey mask? That's not scary. No. I don't do horror movies. My brain does just fine on its own.
Okay.
And it always fills in, so, like...
You've seen one of the Halloweens because you watched it for your birthday one year.
I
You saw one of the Halloweens.
No, I watched it.
You watched it?
Yeah, I did.
Yeah.
And my mom was a real bitch about it. No offense to her. But she walked in and it was me and all my friends because it came out the year I turned 17.
Was H2O?
Yeah. When I was 17.
Uh-huh.
And like
No, they're not.
The main character I think was turning 17 or something like that. Because it was like Jamie Lee Curtis's daughter.
Yes.
And
her son actually.
Okay, whatever.
Yeah.
And my mom
girlfriend.
walks through the room. I think it was Brian that she did this to, actually. So Brian and I have been friends since like 7th grade. And Paul knows him too. It's actually, Brian is how I met Paul, believe it or not.
Okay.
So I have all my high school friends over and my mom walks through the room and like grabs his shoulders and goes, "Hey!" And he was like, "Ah!" It was very funny. That's what I remember from that movie, is my mom doing that to Brian. The rest of it I have blocked from my memory. But I still, like, I have nightmares about Scream. It freaks me out to turn on, like, I always have to turn on the outside lights before it's dark out. Because I'm always afraid that when I turn the light on,
Ghostface is going to be there.
that there's going to be, not the ghost face, the guy, like, she had, like, the girl's boyfriend was, like, tied up outside. And,
oh, yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Am I crazy? Did this really happen? Yeah. So, like, that is always the image that flashes through my mind right before I turn on an outside light at night.
Okay.
My brain is messed up.
You know,
guys.
these things don't actually happen.
You're telling me that horrible people don't exist and murder people for fun?
Sure they do. But not...
I know they do, because it's why I stopped watching the news, was I kept hearing about all these horrible things, and my brain fills in the gaps, because I am a creative person, not in the best ways.
They don't happen like in the movies, though.
I write horrible, horrific things. Yeah. I do not watch horrible, horrific things. Okay. There we go. I'll put it that way.
All right.
Because my brain can do it on its own.
Monster Hunter, moments we liked or did not like.
I feel like we hit those.
We did?
Yeah.
Well, my favorite scene, Hunter is like, go get the water. And
Bait.
Artemis is like, she starts walking towards the beach, and this monster like jumps out of the water at her, and he slices off the head. And then he turns around and he just like baits and starts laughing. That's my favorite scene in the whole movie.
That's funny. It was a good moment. Yeah, no, I'm shooting the shit because we turned spoilers on early. We've kind of hit a lot of stuff.
No, that's okay.
I didn't feel like ending early, so I figured
we
could
can
just
end early.
Oh, we won't really at this point. So let's we can talk about what's to come.
Yeah.
So next week we are doing Dazed and Confused. Dazed and Confused is available on Peacock, and while Peacock is a subscription service, they do have limited titles available to view with a free account, and Dazed and Confused is one of them.
Yes, so
you don't
if
have to
you
pay
have
for
a
it.
Nook, not a Nook,
Roku or any other smart
Roku
TV.
or app. What's the Fire? No, Amazon. No.
Fire,
is that what it is? Okay, just download the app for Peacock, and you'll be able to watch it for free. You don't have to pay anything to watch.
Most smart TVs will have that as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, you just need an account that you can log into, I think.
I don't know if we're logged into an account or not.
Oh, okay.
So I don't know. You'd have to look.
But you can watch it for free.
Peacock is the NBC Universal.
Yeah, you might just have to give them your email
service.
address in order to watch it.
Yeah,
Yep. And then we only have one more movie after that, which is Shock and Awe.
Mm-hmm.
Gotta split it up because I'm Southern, and it sounds like I'm saying
Shock
and
and
Awe. All one word. Shock and Awe.
Shock
and Awe. And that will link us to our next actor. We didn't come up with...
We did.
You came up with one.
I did.
Oh, thank you.
So our actor for next month, it is a male, over 40 at the time the movie was made, and he did back-to-back performances for the director of Shock and Awe.
Interesting.
Yes.
So, if you'd like to put your guesses in, just tag us on social media. This is our social media tag on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook. And give us your guesses of who you think is going to be next. Who is our actor for August? I do not know. Actually, I do know. And we will tell you in 2 weeks. There's no prizes. It's all bragging
fun.
rights. Just so you could say, hey, I knew.
I knew when.
Yeah. But yes, put your guesses in, except for Paul, because he's already guessed. He doesn't have to do it.
Who did he guess?
He guessed right.
Oh, did he?
Yeah.
Oh, cool.
On the first try.
Oh, nice.
He was like, please tell me it's this person. I was like, yes, it is. You've got it. Now don't tell anyone.
So moms, go do that.
Yes, social media at MMMachinations on Instagram, Twitter, or Facebook. Give us a follow and you'll get all of our updates. And it's the same updates on everything. So like you don't have to follow all three. And put your guesses in. And we'll let you know in 2 weeks who it's going to be for sure. We'll give you another hint next week.
Mm-hmm.
But I think... Wow. I think we're actually going to end a couple minutes early.
Yeah.
So, I'm Mel. This is Zim. We're here every Monday night from 8 p.m. to approximately 9:30, depending on how long we talk, Central Time, for Monday Movie Madness.
And Mad Misadventures. Mel and Paul play games live Tuesday and Thursday from 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. Central.
We say we play games. At the moment, we play game.
You play game, yeah.
Yes,
This month, it seems like it's been the one game.
It's been Wildermyth.
Yeah.
Wildermyth is amazing. If you don't know what Wildermyth is, come join us tomorrow morning at 10 a.m. Central and find out, because it's basically story time.
Yeah,
it's good fun.
It looks kind of cool.
It's really fun.
Like
we do voices and the whole thing, and it's great. Yes, we're voice acting. I have 3 voices. I have high pitch and middle pitch and low pitch. Those are my voices.
It looks like it would be compared
and
to
old
a
lady voice.
It would be compared to a Choose Your Own Adventure board game.
Kind of.
That's what it looks like. I haven't watched very much of it, but what I have, that's what I
because you watch the kids.
I've got the kids while the show's going. So, yeah.
Yep. It's good fun. Come and join us for story time.
Otherwise, we'll see you here next week.
Next week.
Same mad time, same bad channel.
We'll see you for Dazed and Confused. And knowing me, I will be Dazed and Confused.
One of the two.
One of the two.
Okay.
Take care, guys. Have a great week.
See ya.
Oh, I forgot to click the thing. Ha! Sorry. Okay. Take care, guys. See you next week.